The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
But speaking of throwing things all away, as I'm just becoming the king of transitions tonight on an absolute roll, Brandon, let's talk about Clay Holmes' career.
Well, LJ, I can tell you one thing. LJ, or actually, I'll have you tell me. What team did the Yankees acquire Clay Holmes from?
I'm going to be honest with you, Brandon. We were like 3 minutes late getting you into the studio. That was mostly because I was sitting here trying to title this episode and do something punny about both the Pirates and Clay Holmes falling apart. I couldn't quite figure it out other than what we ended up with here, which, as most of you know, Pirates, Clay Holmes, crumble. But I'll live with it.
Yeah, LJ, Clay Holmes.
You probably shouldn't have to live with it, though.
LJ, the Clay Holmes era for the Yankees it's not been good this year, LJ. And to be
Brandon,
quite
tell us
frank,
how you really feel. Don't hold back. I can tell you're holding it back.
just let me
let him cook.
Wax poetic here. No, I'm not going on for that long. Look, I mean, Clay Holmes comes in, first appearance of the year. It was a tie game going into the top of the ninth. He blew it, and we lost. That was his first appearance. It was game 2 for the Yankees. Okay, that's fine. Comes in, he pitches 4 straight outings after that, or really 5 straight outings where he looked really good. He got 4 saves in that time. And then the other night, Friday night against Minnesota, he absolutely collapsed out there on the mound. Nestor goes a strong 7 innings. The only 2 runs he gives up are on 2 solo home runs. And they bring Clay Holmes in for the 8th inning. You know, the Yankees, which I like, they say, hey, let's use our best reliever in the highest leverage situation. Okay. I am so fine with that philosophy. I would manage like that personally.
I'll say you don't believe in the closer, so
they bring in Clay Holmes in the 8th inning, and falls apart. 2 hits, 2 runs, a walk, blows the save, takes the loss, and the Yankees lose 4-3. You know, what should have been a very winnable game against Minnesota. Going back to last year, I think the stat was since June of last year, Holmes has something like a 6 ERA, which is not good. I don't like reliever ERA too much, but that does seem like a fairly good sample size for me. And yeah, I don't know where we go from here, because obviously you can't. I don't know if he is the guy, and I don't really know why. We just kind of it got to a point last year, LJ, where the Yankees didn't necessarily have a closer because Chapman was falling apart after he started the year really good, and then by mid-May, June, I want to say it was really bad. Holmes steps in as our closer, but that was just kind of like just because he was the next best guy up. Loizaga was coming back from injury, and he struggled to start the year. So it was like, all right, yeah, Clay Holmes is the closer. And remember, this is LJ, a man who had never closed, who had never had a save in his MLB career up until 2022. And now I don't know if he's where we should go. And for those asking, well, what should the Yankees do? Well, let's not forget that in what is going to be an albatross of a trade by the time everything is all settled, but the Frankie Montas deal to the Yankees, we did get Lou Trevino in that deal, who pitched very well for us last year. He'll be coming off the IL, and he certainly has closer experience. He could certainly get some. Yes, LJ.
It's 20 runs in his last 31 innings.
Oof. Okay, yeah. So there you go. You see how bad it actually has been. Lou Trevino, like I said, that's a guy who has had experience as a closer before for Oakland. He could certainly get some run there. Jonathan Loizaga could certainly get some run. And in terms of what pitchers should be out there for the biggest leverage at bats of the game, I don't think it should be Clay Holmes anymore. I'm fine with him being, the second in command guy, but I think it's time, especially 20 runs in the last 31 innings, like LJ said. I think it's time that the Yankees move in a different direction. Just try it out. Obviously, Clay Holmes, at some point, again, and the Yankees haven't said that they're going to strip him of the closer job or anything. At some point, he will be facing batters in a high leverage situation. We've seen him have some success in the past, but in general, I don't think that he should be the guy and anymore, at least at this point.
Again, it's a situation I think, you need to understand. With closers, it's one thing to just blow saves. Like, that's aggravating, and it's really tough to lose that way. But it's worse when you do it in a very convincing fashion. When you lose in a convincing fashion, it can be, or excuse me, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you lose and you very clearly lost the game, that's a massive morale drop, especially when you're supposed to be one of the best players out there. You go out there for a ninth inning with a bad closer, or a closer that's just going to fall apart. It's like watching a car crash that you can't turn away from. Although, I mean, I think, IKF or an Aaron Hicks or somebody could probably be just as good defensively if they did turn away from the car crash and look out towards the outfield. But at the end of the day, it's just such a demoralizer that it's really hard to continue to get any footing going forward.